I've been really into ridges lately, the tops of mountains.
Oh, shit. I've seen that.
I feel like that's one thing that's not tapped into a lot in Hawaii. It is a lot of people more so associate the ocean with the islands and not necessarily the mountain.
We have a lot of mountains.
We have a lot of mountains, and I grew up here. All my friends are local boys, and not a lot of them, if any of them, have really brought me or mentioned, done the types of hikes or trail running that I'm doing now.
Probably because it's dangerous as fuck.
It is it is a little dangerous.
I see those guys like they're running on the peak.
Yeah, that's the ridge.
That's
That's the peak of it. So that's
Okay.
so my big adventure next, what I want to do. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Waianae Summit Trail.
Yeah.
So starts at Kaena Point. It goes up over to Waianae, goes through Maile, through Nanakuli, to Schofield, and then to Makakilo, which I live right in Makakilo. So my plan is to do the full Waianae Summit Trail, looking to do it in sub 12 hours. And yeah, you start at Kaena and you end in Makakilo. You run up to the top of the ridge and you just follow the ridge top all the way until Makakilo.
And there's no actual path, huh?
There's not necessarily like a path. It's more so just what Mother Nature, rain and the weather has formed. There is some people that have done sections of it. I know a group of people who have done the whole thing. I believe it was about 18 hours. It was more so hiking. I'm looking to do it more so as a speed effort and having a hard time finding anybody who is down. So it looks like it will be a solo attempt.
Which can be really dangerous too, because I know you know you probably have your cell phone, but if you fall and hit your head, then HFD needs to.
Yes. So I am, I got a family. I love my wife, my dog, I have a family, and I'm not reckless, so I will take extreme precaution and be as safe as I can. And my watch, if I do fall, it sends an alert if you have a hard bang. So that's a benefit to having a Garmin. But yeah, just being smart and observant of the trail. Fortunately, I'm pretty athletic and I know the trails pretty well. So just being smart with it. And I think that is about 30 miles, that whole trek. But the thing about that is it's a lot slower just because it's a lot of bushwhacking.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the top of the ridge, like you said, there's no path. And if people haven't been up there, certain sections nobody does. So that just gets really overgrown to where you're just bushwhacking it. And
what I think people don't realize too, I mean, maybe they do, but when I think about it, the terrain, you're going to get into a lot of precarious situations. You might have to turn around and go down and then go back up. So, I mean, 18 hours for 30 miles in mountainous terrain that has no forged path.
Yeah.
That's pretty gnarly, bro.
Yeah, it is.
You run into some pua'as up there.
There's all kinds of stuff up there. So,
snap. So tell me this, has running, has doing endurance runs made you a better man?
I feel it has. I feel like when you put yourself in a painful situation or even just having a small obstacle every day to overcome. For instance, I got a 12-mile run I got to do today.
Small obstacle.
Yeah, I don't always want to do it, but just the fact that you're willing to get stuff done even when you don't want to, it relays a lot to the work aspect, the mindset of just everything in life. And, I've really realized that, you can't do this alone, especially with racing, or just these long efforts. It's all about the crew, having supportive people around you and a good team, and if you're treating them poorly, then they're not going to be there to help you. So I feel like with me making these big efforts, you know, it's helped me. I always have a tight circle, but it's helped me slim down even better, you know, even more so, to where I just need a handful of people in my life who we're both helping each other. You know, I don't need a big circle, you know. I do like to motivate and, you know, spread the message to everybody. That's why I'm a little active on social media. You know, I'm not an influencer, you know, but I do like to post what I do, and I like to try to show people that, hey, anybody can, you know, you don't need to do it on the scale I'm doing it. That's not what I'm trying to get out there. I'm just trying to show people what the human potential is, and hey, hopefully it sparks something in somebody that, hey, I'll go out there and I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do a 1 mile run. You know, again, I don't want people to look at it like, oh, I need to do a 100-mile run to be a savage. No. As I was talking earlier, I think the people with the later finishes are the more impressive people. For instance, I finished hurt in 22 hours. There were a lot of people who were out there until cutoff, 35 hours, all different types of ages, genders, sizes. You know, it's not all elite athletes. It's everybody. And for them to be out there that long and endure that type of pain is just so impressive to me. So I'm hoping to just spread the awareness that health is wealth. Money, it's great. You know, I'm successful. I work hard, you know, but that is not what life's about. I have family members who have all the money in the world. I know people who are rich in money, but in health, they're poor. Just like Bob Marley, the one interview, the man asked him, "Are you a rich man?" And he said, "To you, what is riches?" I forget the exact quote, but he basically said, you know, riches is not what makes you happy, you know, so.
Damn, bro. I love that. Kenji, you got anything that you want to... I do want to talk about chain reaction in a second.
Chain reaction. Let's get to that. But I got a couple of questions. First one's a quick one. For your upcoming Waianae Mountain Range from north to south, basically, are you going to record it so people can watch?
I'll record sections of it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't record the whole thing. It's a long, you know.
That's
a long effort. I'll record sections of it. And yeah, definitely.
Okay. And then the other part, okay, there's another one, but 2 parts. One, what is your strategy in finding and selecting these kind of courses? Because I think it was early this year, maybe you know, it was late last year, someone like posted I'd soloed basically from Kahuku to Waimanalo on the ridges.
Yeah.
Camping though, not running.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I guess you could just go wherever you want. So as someone like yourself, whether it's Hawaii, Oregon, around the world, what strategy do you go into? Like, what makes a course appealing to you?
I would say there's 2 things. The scenery, I'm all about beautiful scenery, right? I like to look at beautiful things while I'm suffering. So that's one. The other is the hardness level. You know, I like it to be hard. I don't like to do stuff that I can guarantee finish. I like to sign up for stuff or pick stuff I don't know if I'm going to finish. You know, I might have to get helicoptered out, you know. I'm really hoping not, because I'm not trying to be on social media or I'm trying not to pay I'm not trying to pay a couple $1,000 fine, but you know, I feel like you got to pick stuff that you don't know if you're going to succeed. And, you know, why not pick something nice to look at while you're suffering? Yeah.
Got it. So. And then the last one is, what is the, if any, when it comes to trail running, what you do, ultramarathons and all that, is it like surf spots and that some are so protected and only elite members can go in? You know what I mean? Like protected surf spots, protected fishing spots, very common in Hawaii. is there something like an element of that in your trail running world? Like, don't even put social media, like don't, can you expand on that?
Yeah. So it's not, even with surfing, right? I feel like since COVID and social media has just blown up, even the surf spots, man, it's so hard to regulate that. Everywhere is exposed now. You know, just like Cal's used to be my home break. It used to be all homeless. There used to be bushes blocking it. The city and county kicked them all out, chopped the bushes. Now everybody can see it. That's one. So now that's overpacked, and just people post it and they find out all the spots, no matter if it's mountains, beach. And there are some trails that, yeah, you don't want to post your GPS location. You know, we don't want it to get overrun. But I would say with social media, everything is just getting exposed to where it's not like it used to be. You know, so
I wanted to ask you, how important is it to respect nature when you're going, running through these forests and the natural
important
landscape?
For sure. So, being a trail runner, kind of like the beach. The beach. When I was heavy into the beach scene, burning pallets was a big controversy. Everybody on the West, the military tourists would come down to, I don't know specifically, throw pallets, burn them, and there'd be a bunch of nails in there. And, eventually they closed I don't knows. I remember I used to be able to pull my truck right up on there and cruise, crash out, sleep, camp right in front of the break. Now we can't do that because people not taking care of the Aina. So the trail scene, I feel, is a lot more conscious of that, and they respect nature a lot more. Just the hikers in general, trail runners in general are different than beach people, in my opinion. They're a little more hippie-like. Yeah. I don't know if that's the right wording, but they're a lot more friendly with all the nature, the plants. Yeah, no littering, watching out for certain plants, staying on the trail. Because, again, like you were saying, are these formed trails? Some of them are. The ridges aren't really, but for the formed trails, you want to stay on those trails, and you don't want to just start making your own, because that's not what the mountain is for. It's for, using, let me think how I can word this. Might have to cut this.
It's visiting.
Yeah. So yeah, basically just, exactly. You want less footprints, right? Humans have already made a huge footprint in Mother Nature, and we're trying to do that less, especially in the mountain. Like in the where all cement is down here, it's not as bad, obviously, but when you're up in the mountain, sacred. Yeah.
Hey, but you know what, bro? When you're saying that, respecting nature, running on the trails, trying to make sure that you're not damaging the plants and the habitats of the animals that are living there and stuff. I was thinking about when you're running 100 miles through the mountains and you got to take a shit.
Oh, that's just fertilizer, right?
Yeah. What do you just shit anywhere, but like, and then you got to run with a shitty ass?
Biodegradable toilet paper.
Oh.
So, I mean, there's some exceptions. Yeah. But that's only for really long treks. A lot of these endurance events have aid every 10 miles. There's bathrooms. So it's not as bad. It's more so when you go on a long 10, 12-hour hike by yourself, or, with no bathrooms, no aid. Mother Nature's going to call when it calls. So you're going to have to take care of that. Yeah. But, just like the animals, though, they pee and poop.
Yeah, no.
So but wrappers and trash and foot pounding over native plants, because there is still a lot of native plants out there, especially up on the ridges. And, you just want to take care. You want it to flourish so the next generation can see the beauty that we have.